Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Thoughts from a Driver's Seat. I'm your host, Abdul-Haqq, where we will discuss many topics that are silly, banal, recurring, and thought-provoking. Today, it's a 5-minute segment. We try to be able to keep it down to 5 minutes, and sometimes I talk too much, but just a couple of things that was on my mind. Definitely one of the biggest news items out right now is the depending on how you want to call it, the coup, the public unrest in Egypt. I'll be honest, I'm the first person to realize and the first person to call when I do not know something or I'm unaware of something. But I'm not understanding why everybody's upset. But I can only imagine, what it is that they're doing. Their President Mubarak, has been president for 33 years. I mean, now this is, that's basically a dictatorship. So you can only imagine what was happening. You can't always say, well, if you're living in a totalitarian society and, things are just horrible because that person has an iron grip. Because look at Fidel Castro. You had people in Cuba that absolutely love Castro, absolutely love him, love his family, his son, and there's a lot of world leaders that respect what Castro has done for Cuba in terms of bringing a communist socialist society to Cuba, and in terms of what it does for the welfare of its citizens. Now, that can always be, of course, argued by sociologists and think tanks everywhere. But the main thing to understand is that when the populace says something, when the populace is pissed, I mean, you have to be able to follow that populace. You have always had the group of the proletariat. What is that word? The proletariat. I need to edit this out, but basically the commoner is always ruled. You look back even to Middle Ages in England and Europe, they're always the same. Oh, you got the monarchy, and the monarchy is taxing, and the monarchy is doing different things to the fiefdoms, and in terms of the way how they treat the proletariat. I'm going to look that word up. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, leave a comment. Anyway, that is going to be your ruling body, because the only people that can be able to challenge basically the monarchy back in those days were the church, which had, in some cases, more power than the king in terms of being able to excommunicate an entire kingdom, basically saying that you're going to hell, and that could kill a kingship, or when the commoners had enough and would just revolt. And that's what I think is happening with Egypt. President Mubarak, I do not live in Egypt. I do not know people that live in Egypt, but a lot of the tweets, a lot of the Facebook messages, and even, some trusted sites like The Guardian and BBC, who've been doing a really good job in terms of news, basically state a populace that has had enough. They get sick and tired of having to deal with all this stuff over and over again, all the stuff that Mubarak is doing, during his regime, because it's during his term now. That dude's been ruling longer than I've been alive. So, I think that really, if you really want to be able to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your folks, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your commoners, for the people and for the populace, then you always need to understand whether you live in a totalitarian society or whether you live in a democracy and you're the ruler for 30 years, you have to make sure that you're following the will and needs of the people. Otherwise, you're going to have a firestorm of craziness like what's happening in Egypt right now. Because those cats, that dude had to leave Egypt, today is Tuesday. That dude left Egypt Thursday evening under armed escort with 3 jets. And anytime somebody leaves with 3 jets, it's for one reason, because they concerned they don't want to get rocketed down. So, there's no reason. You don't have so many people that you can't get away. They trying to get that man out of there. Apparently he feared for his safety. You got 1 million people mad at you. Apparently you've done something wrong. And I can only imagine what would have happened. In my opinion, I'm still sticking to my guns. I can only imagine what would have happened in this country should we have been if we had false leadership. Like, let's say, for example, if things under Obama got so bad, or things, we already see now that Sarah Palin and John McCain really did not have any kind of working relationship whatsoever, and both of them have proven to be inept at worst, at best ineffective at what they're doing, and their talking points. I think we really lucked out by having Obama as our president, because if we did not have him, I think we'd be in a world of trouble, and we probably, if not under their term, if they were in office, I can only imagine a what if moment that we probably would have been ready to go ahead and put them out of office. We would be just like the Egyptians, sitting up here like, look, it's time for y'all to go. Sabir, oh my God, are you a proponent of revolt, of armed revolt? No, I'm not saying like a revolution, but you have to be able to understand that when your leaders are not following or not following what it is that you find effective or you find important, or even maybe harming the populace, they gotta go. And so that's what the Egyptians are doing. And in most cases, it's a peaceful protest. You got a couple times when tensions get high and everything, but for the most part, it's a peaceful protest. And I think that Egyptians are definitely showing the world how it's supposed to be done. When you don't like your leaders and you're upset with them and they ain't doing something right, it's time to go ahead and get them up out of office. So I think that's actually, I think we should all give them applause, and we should all watch the stories and look out and document human rights abuses and things like that, and make sure that no one's being willfully targeted and kidnapped like what happened in Iran 2 years ago. My heart goes out to the Egyptian populace, and I hope the Egyptian government gets things right. But according to certain newscasts, apparently the Egyptian government has given the Egyptian army the order not to fire upon, or no force will be willed upon the people, so long as people aren't breaking things and destroying property and trying to harm the army. The army is not going to make any force, and I think that right there is a bigger poignant statement than anything else. Looks like I've gone about 2 minutes over. Got to edit a little bit of this out. Anyway, this is Thoughts from a Driver's Seat. I am again your host, Abdul-Haqq. Peace.